So for it to be noticed or all seen or to pick up any kind of weight or gravity in the industry, especially nowadays with it being so competitive, I needed to do that at a time where I felt like I had a good enough support system behind me. So, you know, it's a good time to introduce people that I think that would be good to support that kind of, I think, match that community spirit that want to see other people succeed as well as themselves. You know, when we go to shows, there's a group of us that all support each other. We're all shouting for you on stage, and we're all also not just doing that, but we actually want to see you do well, because the feeling is that it's going to come round and that person's going to be shouting for you, and everyone knows that, so we all help each other out. But having that on a bigger scale is just absolutely mint, and we've experienced that this year, and it's going to be class.
Well, an example of that would be with the community, obviously. With everyone being in Hull, it's not just obviously just the group chat. You'll get a lot of them will obviously give you the sort of, you know, they respond to your Instagram, message you privately, you know, give you that sort of motivation, that support. But as a community and who you meet, you know, I've trained with a lot of Lewis's clients now at Ultraflex since being here. But most noticeably, in this new apartment, I live with Liam, another client that I met through Lewis. This is the sort of community we're on about. It's, you know, you're creating friends. You know, people that you can, you know, create friendships with, trust, you know, you just feel like you can depend on each other. Yeah. And I think that was always evident. But I think over the past months, it's just developed further and further.
The thing is with me, I'm not like a lot of other coaches in terms of, like, a lot of other coaches are able to see a coaching as a business. So, like, if a client drops off or they gain a client, like, it's just in and out. Do you know what I mean? This
is why I asked you the question, because I was like, are you going to get to a point where you're going to distance yourself from the clients? Because you'd have to build 100+ clients, you'd have to.
I've been to the point of coaching where I've had 120 clients, and I can tell you now it's the worst point of coaching I've ever had.
Yeah,
I will never do that again, and I actually purposely will rather earn far more to do what I do now, because you know what? That's what makes me, I think, a better coach, and what makes me enjoy it.
Quality over quantity.
When I get a coach in and out, like if I get a coach leave, a client leave. Now, I know this is bad, and a lot of coaches say you shouldn't matter, it's business, but it does matter to me, because I want to make sure that I've done everything I can for that person, and I want to make sure that they felt like they got what they should have got from my service, and they haven't left from something that I've done personally.
Yeah.
If they're ready to leave, then that's fair enough, but I always have that feeling because I actually care, but I think that's what makes me a good coach. If I was to coach loads of people, I wouldn't be able to feel like that, and I think that's a quality that I need to personally be successful in the business.
I think a lot of people would prefer that as well, you know, having that personal touch.
I think that attracts a certain type of clientele. I don't think everybody wants a coach that's going to want this kind of involvement and want to build relationships with their coach. I think only certain people want to feel like they're not just kind of friends, but get involved in a group and group of friends. But to some people, I think that that's what they probably need to succeed. They need more backing, because this kind of sport is not often backed like by your peers, your friends, your family, the people close to you, is it? So you miss out on that.
Yeah.
And that's something that can kind of make or break people, because if you're in circumstances in this sport where you're struggling, you're going through hard times, you know, like if you've got no one to support you and can talk to about it, you're just gonna quit. You're just gonna quit, aren't you? Right? Whereas if you've got a backing of a full team that knows exactly what you're going through and can talk to you and will help you at any time, it's only going to propel you, isn't it, forward? It's that's what kind of we wanted to do. That's why I think I need to keep that. So keeping my client numbers lower and just doing that, not a problem. Not a problem to me.
Yeah, that's the thing. It seems to be a big issue nowadays. I've heard recently a lot of coaches just not caring enough. Have you heard a few matters of coaches taking days? Or
I think you're going to list coaches then.
No, days or weeks to reply.
Or the bike industry.
Yeah, so I've heard a lot in the coaching industry these days, like coaches being quite irresponsible, you know, not replying to messages, not instantly but relatively quickly, taking days to reply, weeks to reply. And in my head I'm thinking, if I was on prep and I was not struggling, but I was going through a hard time and my coach was taking days to reply to me, I'd just start to go a bit nuts.
So I know what you're talking about. We all know that goes on. It does. Yeah. A lot of coaches are slow to reply, and I personally, I'll tell you what I do, and you can tell me whether you think that's good or not. So I find out what time my earliest client wakes up. I set my alarm for 15 minutes before them. I get myself up and I sit downstairs in the morning in the coffee, and I wait until the last person's sitting there checking who's competing, and then I go out and start my day.
Yeah, I think that works out.
So you find
they all agree to me immediately to check in as soon as they wake up. So we all get up early. We all have a nice agreement. If you ping it over to me early, I'll sit and I'll get it done for you there and then. You know exactly what you're doing for your day before you need to go and do anything. Then I can go about my day knowing you know what you need to do. You go about your day knowing you've been looked at. You know what you need to do, and we do that every day from like the last 4 weeks.
Very
6
efficient.
weeks. It's much easier. We go off daily check-ins. I don't like to do weekly check-ins with clients from about 4 weeks out because I think from a mental perspective as well, that's the point when a lot of people start to struggle. And I think that if you can keep your client numbers lower, you've got that capacity to get them to check in daily, especially if you can get up at that time like me. You know, you're willing to get up early.
So you're talking
Four,
before
half
5
four,
o'clock,
half
yeah.
4, quarter to 5, yeah.
Yeah, that is early.
Even while I'm in prep, just get them done. Because then they're on their way. They're good. And I know how much that meant to me. So then I should surely provide that to everybody else. It works. All my clients, they like it.